Hi everyone. I'm so sorry. There's just been so much drama with the streaming platform that we use. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to give you guys some time to come in and then please hit that like button as you guys come in. So sorry again. Hello everyone. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Please hit that like button. Um I'm so sorry for the technical issues. Um, I think let me give you guys a little bit of time to come in. I'll put the countdown app on again just to give you guys a few more seconds to come in. But please hit that like button as you guys come in. Hello, everyone. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. I'm so sorry I am late. Honestly, I've had some technical issues with the streaming platform. I was literally streaming in a different link, and it was meant to be broadcasting to you guys, but it didn't. I just realized I was like, why am I in here by myself? And I just knew something was wrong. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for joining. Please hit that like button. I'm so sorry I'm late. As I said, there's just some drama that has happened. I hate when technical issues happen because Loki, I think it like destabilizes me. Like now, I feel like my energy is kind of like I've exerted all my energy trying to deal with the technical issues. But yeah, just hit that like button as you guys come in whilst I gather myself. Good evening, Super 3701. Good evening. Good evening, Tommy. You're welcome to the stream, everybody. Yay, finally, tell me about it, honestly. Oh, it's been a long one, but yeah, thank you so much for your help. Um, yes, please hit that like button as you join to promote the live. You've heard it here first. Thank you so much. Hey, Super. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, guys, we have a few bits to talk about today. We're going to be talking about Wendy. Wendy is trying to get off on a technicality. Okay, so we will be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about some updates um on with the Real Housewives of Potomac sort of sneak peeks that's coming up. We're also going to be talking about Dr. Heavenly. There is a lot happening, as you can see, with the new season of Married to Medicine coming up. So there's definitely a lot to talk about within that space. And of course, as we always do, if anything does come up whilst I am live, we will be talking about that as well. So now, the one big thing that I want to ask of you today is please hit that like button and please share this live. I know that it's not predominantly Love and Marriage Huntsville, so I know that sometimes the people don't be that interested in other areas, but I'm also trying to build the audience of people on the platform that watch like Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine as well. So whatever you can do in terms of like helping just to share and support the channel would be very, very much appreciated. Okay, so now that I've said all of that, what are you guys drinking? What are you eating? How has your day been? As you guys know, over here we like to like spend a few minutes before we properly get into the conversations just to talk about how each one of us are feeling and also what you're drinking. So if you put it in the chat, let's know what you're drinking. For me, I am drinking a drink called Oasis Summer Fruits. So that's what I'm having tonight. And I also have a bottle of water that I've said to myself I need to drink a good chunk of. So I'm going to be alternating between both of those drinks tonight. In terms of the day that I've had a really good day actually. It's been very wholesome. It was a break from my it was a break from like my day-to-day sort of it was a break from like my day-to-day stuff. I had a bit of a rest day from the gym as well. So yeah, it's been pretty relaxed in. I will say that. Okay, so yeah, put it in the chat. What are you drinking? What are you eating this evening as you hang with us? And then let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with Wendy. I feel like we've said so much about Wendy recently, and I feel like Wendy's story seems to be the gift that keeps on giving. I hate to say it because it just feels like Wendy, how did we get here? Why is it that we're having to discuss you and, in this manner of all the things that we could have been really getting into about Wendy? Now we're here talking about Wendy and this case that she has going on. So, but despite that, we're here and we just have to ride it, right? So, let me share my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And we are going to get into it. So, you all know we showed that Wendy finally did this whole thing where she talks about God is still faithful and all of that stuff. And I'm like, all right, we hear it. But at the same time, sis, like, what's next? Like, what is happening? Right. So here's the update. Wendy is claiming that she is the victim of an illegal arrest. I'm just putting that in perspective. She is claiming that there was an illegal arrest. Okay. And so that's the first big thing. So she's claiming this whole them pulling up to arrest her for the allegation of fraud is an illegal arrest. Right? So that's the first thing. Um and according to Us Weekly, her lawyer has requested that all the charges be dismissed due to alleged defects in the charging document. So, first of all, it's not like they're saying she didn't do it or anything. This is more like they're trying to get off on a technicality. And that is pretty much what it sounds like. It just sounds like she is trying to get off on a technicality, as opposed to her saying that, oh, I didn't do whatever it is that I'm being accused of. So she's not denying it. She is just trying to get off on a technicality. That's the first thing to raise. Um, so I am curious to be like, what exactly are the defects in the charging document? What are the defects in the charging document? Yeah, she's definitely going through it in this season. And it's a shame, but at the same time, it's like you put yourself in this situation. I wish them the best, and I hope that they have learned their lesson from this, because this is definitely going to test them. So, in addition to requesting for the charges to be dropped based on this technicality, she is reportedly asking, and I want you guys to pay attention, she's asking for evidence regarding the case to be suppressed because of an unlawful search or seizure. So she's basically saying everything that they got from the search should not be included, right? Imagine that they searched the house illegally and they found maybe like some bags that were meant to be part of the insurance claim or whatever. Normally, that would, of course, if it's part of an illegal thing, she's trying to get off on a technicality and claiming that should not be included. So, any bags that was found, any sort of evidence of wrongdoing that was found in the house, the idea is claiming that it should be suppressed, right? Because what they're claiming is it is as a result of illegal or unlawful search or seizure. The source also claims she's demanding all that wire and verbal communications to be suppressed because of an unlawful interception. Now, if you guys remember, there was an email allegedly. Well, actually, I don't need to say allegedly, because yeah, I think that was flagged in the press conference, right? So there was a so-called email where apparently Eddie was asking what other things should they put into the insurance claim, excuse me, to allow it to get to a certain point, right? So that was basically flagged. What should they? And it's interesting now because they're demanding that all wire and verbal communications be suppressed. So that's a very, very, very specific request. And I think that that is a specific request because, of course, that email doesn't make it look good. It really doesn't look good if there's an email where it's showing intention to defraud, right? Or that can be interpreted as an intention to defraud, because that is what it is looking like, right? So that's the first big thing to flag. Sorry, my mouse is acting up. Now, what is interesting is her lawyer reportedly requested for any, this is where it gets interesting, any statements, admissions, or confessions to be thrown out due to being illegally obtained. This is very, very important because do you guys remember when Karen was arrested for the DUI and she was trying to get the video footage thrown out? It seems very, very similar to what is happening here. The reason why I'm like, it's a little bit interesting is because she's saying any statements, any admissions, any confessions, which then gives me it begs the question, what did Wendy say when she got arrested? Who said what? What was said? Right? Because it seems very, very weird that they're specifically saying any statements, any admissions, any confessions need to be thrown out due to being illegally obtained. That is very, very weird to me. That seems very specific, right? And then it says, but it didn't stop there. She also requested all evidence to be turned over, as well as a list of all witnesses the prosecutors plan to call. Okay, hold on. Let me read that again. But it didn't stop there. She also requested all evidence to be turned over, as well as a list of witnesses the prosecution planned to call. Right, right. And any polygraph results of witnesses questioned by law enforcement. Now, so far, we don't know specifically any witnesses that they are trying to call, but maybe the lawyers know that they have witnesses they're trying to call. Or maybe um they are anticipating that they will have some witnesses, right? And so they are getting ahead of it by asking all of these. But I would be honest, the one thing I'm more concerned about is where it says confession statements or admissions. Do you guys believe that Wendy, let me know in the chat, do you guys believe that Wendy said something that incriminated her when she was arrested? Do you guys believe that Wendy would be dumb enough to say something about something like that when she gets arrested? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? Do you think Wendy would say anything? Do you think, because it just seems very odd that it says any, it says something very specific. It says any statements, admissions, or confessions. Right? So that's very, very odd. Um, let's see. So it says her lawyer is further requesting any information regarding any confidential information and any confidential informants be turned over as well. According to Us Weekly, Eddie does not have a lawyer. Sorry, I was drinking my Oasis. Eddie does not have a lawyer yet. If you recall, the couple was arrested after claiming their home was robbed. There was also something, I don't think it says it here, but there was something else that I thought was very, very interesting. Apparently, Wendy's lawyer is not the one representing Eddie. Eddie does not have a lawyer on file yet, right? And then also, they are asking for separate trials, right? And I'm just like, that is a very, very odd thing to be asking for when the charges are relatively very similar. I think Eddie has maybe a few extra, but the charges are pretty similar. So I wonder if that is being done to kind of see if one person would get off as opposed to both of them being guilty by reason of one person being guilty. I don't know. But it is all very, very weird to me. It's all very, very weird to me. And I don't know how or whether she's going to get away with it, but I guess she is trying anything she can do to try to get out of this. I don't think it's going to work. They were indicted after being investigated for over a year. That's the thing. And my suspicions is whilst they were investigating, they were getting warrants to search, they were getting all sorts of different things in the background that Wendy and Eddie may have not been aware of. Now, of course, if any of those were obtained illegally, then by all means, you know, fight for your rights, by all means, right? But at the same time, was was that what happened? I guess we'll have to see. Was everything illegally obtained? Was it obtained properly? Those are the things that we need to find out. And we'll have to see how that pans out soon enough. Yes, that was my exact thoughts. It seems to be technicalities. Absolutely. I think they're just trying to get off on technicalities. That's all it is about. They're trying to get off on the technicality. At least Wendy is trying to get off on a technicality. We don't know what Eddie is trying to do. Because at the moment, if Eddie's going to have different lawyers, and we don't know what Eddie's lawyer strategy would be, but I suspect the reason they're separating it is hoping that maybe one of them will get off on the cases, on the charges. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that one person is going to get off, or do you think they're both going to jail? I don't even know where I stand on that. I think it's not looking good either way. I feel like we'll need a lot more information to be able to make an assessment as to whether we feel like it was an illegal arrest. Um, I guess if there's no warrants for the arrest, if there's no proper warrants that includes search and seizure, all those kind of things. Um, but if those things are all there, then I'm sorry, Wendy, that's not necessarily a technicality here that will work. If you remember, Karen did something like that, and yeah, it did not work out for her. See where that landed her. So it's definitely something that you have to be careful of. But at the same time, I think if she's going to fight for a technicality, now is the time to fight, because before the hearing comes up, um, so it's better to start fighting and see what sticks, right? So yeah, I don't even know what to say, but I wish all the parties involved the best. Super said there's no statement claiming innocence. Absolutely. I don't think that she is in the slightest way claiming to be innocent at all. I don't really see that. I think she is just hoping that she is able to get away with it. The sad part is, like, everyone already knows that, or everyone assumes that you did it, right? Like, I know they said innocent until proven guilty, but for the most part, people generally believe that you did it, Wendy. So, in the courts of public opinion, you've already been tried. So, unless you're outrightly saying that you're innocent, you did not do none of this, and da 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 da, I don't think anyone really believes that you're innocent. People just think you're trying to get off on a technicality. Now, of course, if you get off on a technicality, I'm sure a lot of people would be happy with you. But at the same time, it's just a lot of people will be happy for her, especially because of the children. But still, I don't necessarily know if she's going to be able to successfully get off on by virtue of a technicality. It's very, very sad, but I don't know if I believe that she'll be able to get off based on the technicality. I'm going to be honest. I don't really see that happening at all. At all. Okay. Those technicalities are usually to delay court processes and it can bounce back. Absolutely. It really can. Like, it really, really can. I feel like, yeah, part of it is to delay the court processes, yes, and also part of it is hoping that they can get away with it. Because the truth is, if, for instance, they illegally arrested them because of certain technicalities, or they illegally searched, or they illegally intercepted their emails, guess what? Those things are not going to be admissible as evidence, right? The lawyer is probably going to be arguing fruit of the poisonous tree, right? So everything is as a result of this illegal search to begin with. So anything connected to that search, that illegal search, anything that they find, anything as a result of that should not be included. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this, and that is going to have to be something that the judge will probably have to um deliberate or decide on. But yeah, I think the best thing she can get off on is a technicality versus her innocence, because if they have all of these damning evidence against her, it would be so hard to prove that she is innocent. Think about all the evidence that they have: an email, and now we're thinking about confessions versus admissions. And it's like, did she say anything? Did Eddie say anything? These are the questions I have, because it's like, if there was any sort of admission of guilt, best believe that they will be trying to pull that into the court hearing, right? So I feel like, if the only other thing they can do, because the evidence is damning, the only other thing they can do is try to get off on a technicality. And I think that's what her lawyers are trying to do right here. Hello, everyone. To those who have just come in, please hit that like button as you come in. Please hit that like button. Okay. So, yeah, I just feel like they're trying to get off on a technicality. I don't know if it would work. But yeah, let me know. Do you guys think Wendy and Eddie will get off based on this technicality, or do you think they're going to end up going to jail? Put it in the chat. Let me know what you think. Will Eddie go to jail? Will Wendy go to jail? Or do you think that they will get off on this technicality? I will say a lot of people get off on technicalities here and there. But I would be so surprised if they did not do their due diligence to get a warrant to do certain things, to get, to get permission from the court for a wiretap, all these different things, when they could have easily done that and gone through the proper process. So yeah, it is. I would be extremely shocked if that was not done or wasn't done properly, to be completely honest. Okay, so let's move on. Let me see if there's any comments in relation to that. No. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to look here. I feel like I'm due a massage. My back hurts. Okay, so you guys know we talked about Dr. Heavenly yesterday. Dr. Heavenly is basically clarifying that she was demoted to being a friend of, because Bravo doesn't allow cast members to run for Congress. So, yesterday we were speculating about whether. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, sorry, guys. Um, yeah, so yesterday we were discussing about whether Heavenly was demoted. Because we didn't see her, there was no cast, there wasn't a photo of her on the main Married to Medicine picture. So yeah, that was quite weird. So yeah, we're talking about like what was going on with that. So it sounds like it wasn't just us. Heavenly was also surprised. According to Heavenly, she was demoted because you're not allowed to run for Congress while working for Bravo. That is so weird, actually. So it's like, of all the things that you should be allowed to do, you can't run for Congress? Like, wouldn't that bring more attention to the show? Like, why wouldn't they be supportive of you running for Congress? That is so weird. But anyway, she revealed that it took 8 weeks for Bravo to finalize her new contract. And considering the season only filmed for 12 weeks, wow, 12 weeks is a very, very little time. Wow, that's 3 months. That left very little time. Bravo reportedly struggled to determine what they could and couldn't air due to her campaign for Georgia House District 93. Interesting. That is very, very interesting. I wonder why that is a part of the contract that you can't run for Congress. But this is another reason why it's important to read that contract, know what you're signing. Because if you don't know what you're signing, you end up being shocked that there is something in there saying you can't do something. So that is very, very weird. But I would have expected of all the things that it would be saying in the contract, like, oh, don't do this, don't cause this, don't do that. Instead, you get something like this. That's crazy. That is definitely very, very weird. Um, people are allowed to defraud people. Well, I don't know if I'll say they're allowed, but certain people can go to prison, but then end up still back on the Housewives franchise, right? Um, but I guess maybe Married to Medicine is different. Not that I don't remember anyone from Married to Medicine going to jail. So I guess maybe they're just like, you can't go to jail and then you can't be a politician. I don't know, but it feels unnecessarily like restrictive. I'm not gonna lie, it's very, very unnecessarily restrictive. Okay, let me see. Trying to make sure. Did I? Let me have a look to see if there's anything. Okay, nothing here. Um, that I wanted to talk about, but I did want to play something for you guys, which is a video of. Oh, okay. A video of Dr. Heaven Quad, where they kind of talk a little bit about the new, well, people on Married to Medicine are trying to get a rise out of her as she is running for office. So I'm going to play it and we'll talk about it. But as usual, this is covered under copyright fair use policy. I'm going to play it. I'm just going to play a little bit here and there. I'm going to play it, but I'll have to keep pausing it just to avoid being flagged for copyright. Okay, so that means we're going to see a lot of you and King. And then so she's like, "Yeah, you gonna see a lot of." So of course, it's saying she got a man. She got a man. I will say, Quad looks happy. I remember there were allegedly certain allegations about him um that came out in the news. Maybe there is no truth to it. Who knows? But she's still with that man, so I'm hoping it was all lies and people just didn't want her to be happy, and so people were just like coming up with all sorts of lies, really. I hope for her sake. Have you? Mhm. The lady said, "Why did you choose to be transparent about you going through your story?" That's funny. Interesting. Let me just see the chat first. Did I just remove the what was playing? That is so weird. Oh, I thought I was sharing my screen. Sorry, guys. You guys didn't even tell me nothing. I thought I was sharing the right screen. Let me share this. This is the screen I was trying to share. Seems like even. Let me see. So when you say you still believe she's not being truthful, do you mean Quad? Sorry, do you mean Heavenly? The CC that broke the story about her son's arrest said that Bravo contacted her to use her YouTube videos for Married to Medicine and she approved. That's really good. Because yeah, like I feel like initially it was like done like it was a lie, and people just want to conspire against her and her family and all of that, when in fact that is what happened, right? So it is interesting that like now they are have well, Heavenly is having to address it, and I think for years Heavenly has gotten away with not addressing her issues but raising issue with every other person's issue, complaining about everyone else, putting everyone's family issues on blast. Think about how she did Contessa. The way she treated Contessa was out of order, was terrible. She kept talking about her relationship, and all of these different things are things that Heavenly did, right? And so when you think about it like that and you're like, now you have the opportunity to be honest about what's going on in your family and you're choosing not to be honest, and you realize that she wasn't going to be honest unless she was forced to be honest. And I think this time around she was forced to be honest, and we'll get into that in a little bit more detail. when I play this video again.
Here's the thing: if I wanted to hide it, the people won't let me hide it. Right. So let's just say that. But I only feel like too, it's always important to be an example. Yeah. You know, you might just be that inspiration that someone could use and could say, you know what, if she did it, then I can do it too. You know, I thought it was too late for me. You know, I was throwing in the towel and giving up. And so, you know, when I
Yeah, I think Quad is definitely the example of like when she was with her ex-husband, she definitely did not really feel like safe or felt like she wanted to have a baby for him. Because then I think about like also Ginny Mai. Ginny Mai said for a long time that she did not want any kids when she was with her ex-husband. She did not want kids. I think everyone thought she was never gonna have kids. And then she met her ex-husband Jay-Z and they have a beautiful daughter together, right? And so sometimes I feel like people say they don't want kids, but it sometimes it's like they because they're not with the right partner, they cannot see a life where they have kids with that person. And so they just sort of interpret that as they don't want kids. And then when they meet certain people, it's now like, yo, I really actually want kids. And I think that's where Quad now is. I wish her and King the best in their journey, although I don't particularly like what I was seeing in the trailer, but I guess let's not judge until we've had time to actually go back and watch it and be able to get and really see what was happening for real.
saw Quad jump out there, she was so vulnerable and so fearless, you know, because it's a bold thing that I'm doing this season. And it takes a lot of courage. Yes, everyone wouldn't do it, but I chose proudly to do it.
Okay. Dr. Hamilton, what you doing? Listen, if y'all didn't find that on Twitter, y'all wouldn't know my business.
Did you hear that? If y'all did not find out on Twitter, y'all would not have known my business. And that is the thing I feel like with Heavenly. Heavenly is so quick to talk about other people's business, address other people's business, but she is not necessarily transparent about hers. She does not want to talk about her business. She wants to keep her business in house, but then be talking about every other person's business. And so that is, yeah, it's just very, very weird, honestly. I don't appreciate that. I prefer people that would openly be like, okay, um, I don't like people in my business, so I stay out of other people's business. But Heavenly is the opposite. Heavenly gonna be all up in your business and then still say nothing about her business, avoid saying anything, lie about her business just to protect her family, and then openly say that she would not show her business if they didn't find out on Twitter. And it's just like with people like that, you don't need to be on reality TV. And I think it's interesting. It's interesting that um yeah, like it's very, very interesting that Dr. Heavenly now feels like, oh, if the world didn't know her business, she ain't gonna say anything. I'm like, yeah. You think it's a storyline? Super. Do you think are you saying the quad thing is a storyline or the Dr. Heavenly thing is a storyline? Which one? I'm interested to see how Dr. Heavenly will be attacked by the girls. To be honest, she seems like a bully to me. Absolutely. I agree with that. I feel like she has always come at everybody since the first season she came on. It has always been her versus everybody. She comes at people. And I think the reason she does is because she wants to remove attention from her business. So she'll rather get into it with you and focus the attention on whatever is going on in your life. And I feel like she did it for such a long time. And low key, that was easy money if you think about it. Like you go to work, you drag everybody, um and none of your personal business gets into the mix, and you keep quiet about all the things that are happening on in your own household. You say nothing or deny until you can't deny it anymore. And so I just feel like all of these different things, it's like, now how do you feel being on the receiving end of it? And as much as I don't like for people to be bullied, I feel like it's important that she was asked these questions, because it's like you've done it to so many people, and you've held so many people's feet to the fire. Now it's now time for let's talk. Let's have the real talk. Let's not be pretentious. Let's not act like everything is all good, knowing fully well all of this is happening right underneath your nose, right? So, yeah, I definitely think it's time for her. She should get a taste of her own medicine. Absolutely. I think it's time. I think it's time for her to see how it feels. And I think sometimes because you've been running unscathed, you've been getting away with, stirring up ish, and nobody is stirring up your business for such a long time, she probably thinks like, oh, she could continue to do that. And so I'm sure it would have been a shock to then find out that her feet is being held to the fire. And I suspect that Toya would be one of the people that would be asking, if not the main person that would be calling for accountability. You all know how Toya is. Toya is going to bring it up. This is just my personal opinion. Super said it's Heavenly's turn. Yeah, it is. It's time to face the music. You have done all sorts to so many people for so long. You've spoken to so many people anyhow for so long. You've brought up their businesses, things they don't want to talk about. You've talked about it. You've ridiculed them. You even went on your show and you were constantly talking about them. So now let's talk about you for a change. Let's focus on you.
Just be straight up with you.
Look, we know what
my season is. I found out on Twitter my son got arrested. Right. We went through some things. It's gonna play out on TV, but this is one of the reasons I'm running for Congress.
Okay.
Started as state rep, but now Congress, because we need to make some changes, some big changes in the world. Now the police did the right thing. My baby came home safely, but one of the leading reasons for
Right. So she's now framing it as that's the reason that she is running for Congress. Now, who knows? It may genuinely be the reason that she is running for Congress, but talk about turning your lemons into lemonade.
Unaliving of black young males is police violence. So I talk about that intricately, and that's one of the things I want to change outside of healthcare.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are you changing your own behavior?
Ooh, clock it. Are you changing your own behavior this season? Whoever said that, 20 points for you. Because that's how I feel. Are you changing your own behavior? You want to run for Congress, but your behavior is terrible. So, yes, absolutely fabulous question.
My behavior is always on point. I actually tell everybody what they need to hear at the time.
Not her saying her behavior is always on point. Never, ever has that behavior been on point. That behavior has gone on checks and people have acted like it was funny for such a long time. Like, I'm actually ready to see a season where people are not running around like headless chicken whilst Heavenly is putting all their business on Front Street.
They need to hear it.
Tell it like it is.
That's what I do. I've been doing that for 12 years, have I not? Quad?
Yes, you have.
Yep. Super 3701 says she knows her son got arrested. She lies too much. Yep. Allegedly, I suspect she definitely knew that her son got arrested. She probably thought it wasn't going to come out like that since she's not in the Love and Married Huntsville franchise. But honey, baby, this is the age of social media. Like, you can't do all of that, or your son can't do all of that, and it will not come out. Your son can't get arrested and it will not come out. Even regular people's kids are getting arrested and it's in the news. Not to talk of your son. So, what did we think was really going to happen?
That's and very well. And very well done. So if you know me, you already know what it is. So, why even try me?
Try me, right, exactly.
Well, I think when we're talking about the trying, I think
this is the thing. Quad is really working overtime because he's really giving campaign manager like, oh, let me clean this up for you. And when we really talk about trying, like, I'm like, okay, Quad, whatever.
Trying is going to be at an all-time high this season.
Yeah,
because now as she most certainly, because she's now stepping into the political arena. Okay. And so with that being said, you have some people in our group
that
that
don't want to see us grow.
Okay, so there's people in the group that don't want to see you grow. But my thing is, when have you ever wanted to see anybody else grow on that show? Never. We've never seen you ride and support anybody other than Jackie. And with Jackie, Jackie is literally giving you guys have an alliance. So yeah, I just don't get it. The story was spin after she lied and couldn't lie anymore. Absolutely, I agree. I think she thought she could get away with lying about it and nobody's going to find out about it. But she eventually found out that, yeah, nah, everything is on Front Street. Everybody is asking questions. People want to know what the truth is. And that's just where things stand. So I'm not surprised at all. Not at all.
And who want to go out of their way to challenge that so they can try to see if they can get a rise out of her. So that has been something that we've been having to.
So people are trying to get a rise out of her. Well, they know she can't control herself. So it's easy to bait somebody like that who does not have a handle on their emotions, who is so easily triggered, easily annoyed, right? And my question is, what is it that these other people are doing that Heavenly has not done to the others? If it's the same Heavenly that we know for a fact that Heavenly has been causing all sorts of problems for the castmates. So it's like maybe they're returning the favor.
To work through. And
this has probably been one of the most difficult seasons I've ever had on Married to Medicine. No.
Can you imagine? Because this is the season that you're probably being held to where your feet is being held to the fire. This is this first season where you are having to tell the truth about matters that are happening within your own household. You know, it's like you're used to being able to lie or being able to skate around things, being able to avoid things. But this is the first season where they're like, nope. You need to address this. You need to talk about this. This is unacceptable. And I think it's very, very much needed. Very much needed.
I've been skating through it till I had some personal issues, And my whole thing is, honestly, I wouldn't have brought it up. A lot of things wouldn't have.
Did you hear that? I wouldn't have brought it up. So you know how to be personal and quiet with your business, but you don't know how to be quiet about other people's business. Even when I think what's her name again? I can't remember what her name is. Courtney? Not Courtney. Contessa shared certain things with you off camera. You still brought it. You still talked about it. So at the end of the day, you are allowed to keep things private. You want to be able to keep things private, but other people can't. Other people can't have private things or things they don't want to share with the general public.
Come up had it not come out in the public, but you got to be transparent now and what's going on and how it's going, and I've been that this season, so that's something very different.
So that means we gonna see more you and Kane, or
you're gonna see a lot more me and the man.
I got a man at home.
I got a man. I got a man at home.
This was a.
I've already watched this, but yeah, like, why would I vote for her with that attitude? Absolutely. I personally would not vote for her. I don't really understand why anyone would vote for her. I think that maybe people just like her as a person and maybe that's why they may vote. But I do not see myself voting for somebody like this. Like, seriously, why would I be voting for her? She can't control herself. She can easily be baited. It's like, what else? Why else are you running for office outside of that, right? So I personally yeah, I'm not really keen on that, to be completely honest. But yeah, she should have been fired. I agree. I think a lot of the things that she has done have been so excessive. And so, yes, I agree with that. I feel like she has always gone over and above, and everything that she has always done have always taken things too far. It's like everybody's arguing at a level zero she would be arguing at a 10. And it's like, why? It's like bringing guns to a knife fight, right? Did I just say the word? Bringing pawpaws to a knife fight. It's like, is that really necessary? Do you have to do that? So these are some of the things that I would have been like trying to figure out. So I just think, like, yes, especially if you're on a show like this, you can't say you didn't want to be vulnerable. And it's like, how can we trust that you were even vulnerable, right? So it's just like, you can't say things like, oh, you didn't want to be vulnerable and all of that, and we're all meant to be like, okay, she didn't really want to be vulnerable. Like, no, you are over here so that you can be vulnerable, so you can talk about what is going on in your life, what is going on in your family's life, in their business, all of these things. That's why you're on Married to Medicine, a reality TV show. But to be able to openly say that, if we didn't find out what we found out on the internet, that you would not have come to tell us, you wouldn't have done anything, is hella shady, especially if you're the one that is always coming at everybody. You wouldn't let that fly if it was someone else. So why should we let that fly for you? And I wonder if that is part of why um she was demoted, as opposed to just this whole Congress issue. But of course, that is just speculation. Let me have a look just to see that I have not missed anything that was on my list to talk about. Um, was there anything else on the list? I did want to take you guys through and play some sneak peeks. So we're going to play some sneak peeks from Potomac. But yeah, we're going to play some sneak peeks. I'm going to have to keep pausing it so that I don't get copyrighted. But yeah, guys, for those who have just come in, you're welcome. Please hit that like button. We're currently talking about Married to Medicine, but now we're moving on to watching some sneak peeks of Real Housewives of Potomac. And yeah, I'm going to pause, give my commentary, and you guys can like leave your comments or your feedback in the chat. All right, let's go. Let me share this tab instead.
I would say so. It's fire. You can do a new thing now. I've been doing it. Well, I should have got here ages ago.
Jay hates me. Like, it's so. I've never in my life understood where you're like, I'm breathing, and she's like, I hate the way you breathe.
Not I hate the way you breathe, but I completely get Stacey, because it's like, sis, why are you so pressed? Like, it just feels like, I don't know what is going on with Kay this season. Like, is it because she's not like, things are not that good with Greg as she's trying to portray? Like, I don't know what's going on with Stacey over there, but I need her to get it together, because that ain't right.
Stacey, stop touching me.
Oh, what is going on? Did Stacey touch her intentionally? I can almost bet she didn't touch her intentionally. Like, if someone doesn't touch you intentionally, there's no reason. Like, oh my gosh, that is crazy.
With her hair now, it's just Stacey really trying to be my friend.
Stacey, you are a toucher. No, put your butt back. Get your butt back over there, yeah.
I think I'm ready to see some.
Okay, in all fairness to Kay, when someone is irritated at you, they don't want you to touch them. They're just putting that out there. They do not want to be touched by you. They don't want you touching them. They don't want you to be too close to them. They just don't want all of that. So yeah.
Horses and make some money. That's what I came to do.
Okay, sounds good.
You gonna share Greg's money with us?
No,
Who's pulling up? Who's pulling up? All right, guys, let's go.
Wendy's outfit is absolutely fire. The outfit is beautiful. She looks good. I'm just like, girl, is that what you spend all the money on, allegedly? Like, sis looks good. I'm not even going to lie. Not gonna front. She looks good.
Whoa!
I feel like, funny enough, I don't particularly like Kiana's outfit, but I feel like Kiana tends to bring the looks as well. So I would say yes, Wendy and Kiana tend to bring the looks, but I'll be honest, I'm not really feeling Kiana's outfit in this one. And considering Kiana had a lot to say about Giselle's outfit, I'm like, yeah, nah, Kiana, I don't like this fit. But do y'all like Kiana's fit? Do you like her outfit? Do you think it's cute? Yeah, nah, it's for me, Kiana's outfit is like a 5.
Buenos dias.
All right, ladies, let's do a group photo.
I'm so excited to host the. I'm done with Stacey. Excited to host the Ladies of Preakness. We can all enjoy the festivities.
1, 2, 3. All right, ladies, let's get out the heat. We can go sit right there.
Oh, perfect.
Y'all can grab some drinks.
Can I scoot in with you, Wendy? Please, I don't want to sit in that little.
It's funny, Wendy and Stacy looked so good in that picture they took of the group. They both like kind of shone through everyone else in the picture. Like those are the two people that I noticed first. I don't know what it was, but they were definitely eating that picture.
Chairs too low for me. Come on. Oh, Ashley fit right into it. Look at that.
I'm fun size. I'm gonna give you $20 a piece. You last.
Who's last? Me or Stacy?
You didn't shake no ass. I don't know. You're shaking.
Not Kiara coming with the money. Kiana is like, all right, I'm gonna give you some money, shake some ass. Oh my god, Stacy cannot shake nothing to save her life.
Give me change for 20. I gotta get Stacey some money.
What's supposed to be? Oh, just the booty.
Yeah, Stacy, for that little twerk, you deserve a -5, because what the heck was that?
Just your ass. Just your ass.
I gotta figure that out.
Okay, let's get our bet on. Come on.
Okay.
Excited to host.
But I like that they're having fun, though. That's one thing I've noticed about the Real Housewives of Potomac girls. I feel like no matter what, like imagine how much drama happened in the Sprinter. And yes, they're out here smiling, laughing together, photographing together. That's what I like about Potomac. They can put all the drama to the back burner for a good picture, or at least for an outing, right? So, yeah. I do like that about them, I will say. All right, let's see this one.
Just bring up my name to Angel. She'll talk about me for 7 minutes. Something happening. Where'd you go to Temple? We don't know each other. I never spoke to her.
Number 5 is
Gung Ho.
Gung Ho. That's my kind of man too.
Yeah. But I heard that she didn't graduate.
So Wendy is talking about Angel saying she heard she didn't graduate.
Because the other day she said she graduated. Well,
Wendy, this is not aging well, especially because it's like you, for all the graduation that you've had, you decided to be to be arrested, right, for alleged fraudulent activities. So it's like for everything, like, what are we doing, sis? Oh, it's like all these education should have stopped you.
09? You graduated in 03? 06, yeah. Let me check my sources. Because word on the street is that didn't happen. I think something may have transpired.
Yeah, it's very, very weird.
That's why she left. So she did leave. She didn't graduate, right? I don't think she did. Yeah, but she said she graduated 09. So.
Whoa. So did she graduate or did she not graduate? Because it sounds like she's saying like something was like, yeah. Did she graduate or did she not graduate? That's the question.
Okay. Did you bet?
I did not.
Oh, why?
Kay's giving a tutorial. I don't know. I put that $20 in my pocket, girl.
Is there a bar? I think I need a bar. I smell food. Is there food to bring?
Can I just say the food looks good? The paella looks good.
Is there food abroad? Some seafood?
She might be an interesting person.
Oh, that is low-key making me miss freaking Spain. Oh, speaking of which, someone invited me to Spain today, but I needed to respond. I need to go back and respond to that message. I completely forgot to respond.
I'd love to get to know you a bit more. Maybe I'll take you up.
Okay.
You bet already.
I kept that $20 right in my purse. You know how to stay rich.
My feet hurt and I got this coupe glass.
Ashley has been here 5 minutes, and she already has a date. How is that possible? You have been
That is very interesting. That like Ashley keeps getting hit on and stuff. That is very interesting. I think sometimes it's like, do you seem approachable? All of these things I think sometimes add to it because it's like of all the girlies, not saying Ashley's not a beautiful girl, but it's like, okay.
here 5 minutes and you already have a date. Wait a minute. Are you still seeing Josh? What happened to Josh?
We're figuring it out.
Okay.
But I have no boyfriend and no husband.
Okay.
Yeah, you're single until you're married. That's how. Yeah.
Giselle is like, you're single until you're married. Giselle's like, I ain't claiming nobody, honey. So don't even think about it. But yeah, I get that. I get the whole single until I'm married thing because it's like people be acting crazy out here in these streets. You need to be prepared. I'm just gonna say that. Honestly, guys, I have an MRI tomorrow, so I need to really go and rest so I can wake up early for that. I also want to go to the gym before it if I can, so I think I'm going to call it a night. But it has been a pleasure hanging with you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Please hit that like button again just to put me in the or put the video in the algorithm. And for the replay gang, thank you so much for listening in. Please hit that like button. Also let us know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, I'm going to bed. Thanks Super3701. Thank you Tommy for joining in tonight. And yeah, sorry again for being late. Thank you everyone. Have a wonderful evening everybody. Good night. Bye.